Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial of MySQL database administration. For till now I have been doing some only the MySQL single server database administration, but I have been asked by many friends and many viewers that we want something on HA level as well. So for HA level, I'm keeping the replication on the same playlist I am creating these days. That is our playlist, MySQL database administration. But in MySQL 8, we have InnoDB ReplicaSet as well. So I'm starting the HA site from InnoDB ReplicaSet, and then later on we will go to InnoDB cluster, and then we will check the NDB cluster as well. And some other things, we have a lot of things we have to do upcoming in the next few months or a year. Like this is all will be ongoing YouTube channel, and you will learn a lot of things. Okay, so enough talking. Let's start with the InnoDB replica set. So this is the admin API, which includes support for InnoDB replica set that enables you to administer a set of MySQL instance and which are running in asynchronous GTID based replication in a similar way to InnoDB cluster. So if you see here, it's asynchronous GTID base. It's not the traditional file based replication. It is only support the GTID based replication. Okay, so an InnoDB replica set consists of single primary and multiple secondaries. Traditionally it was referred to like MySQL replication, source and replica. So now we have primary and secondary here. Okay, and now if you the master and the slave words has been deprecated for this. Now what we use is the source and a replica. Here we are using primary and secondary. Okay, so our MySQL replica set, it consists of three components. They have combined these three components together, and they call it to make a total new product, which is called InnoDB replica set. And the components are MySQL Shell, which is our admin API to how this is what we are going to use to create our replica set. And it can do a lot of things. I will be creating a new separate series for MySQL Shell, and we will see this in the future. And then we have MySQL Router, which is used for for load balancing, and it's a building block for high availability solution, and it implies application development by integrally routing connection to MySQL server for increased performance and reliability. And then we have a set of MySQL server. The minimum amount of server we required here are 2. So because obviously you need a primary and then you need a secondary. Okay, so let's talk more about this MySQL Shell. What is this? It's an advanced client and code editor for MySQL server. In addition to provide SQL functionality similar to MySQL command prompt, it also provide like scripting capabilities for JavaScript and Python as well, and it includes APIs working with MySQL. Okay, so yes, every product has its limitation, and we have some limitation in InnoDB replica set as well. So it does not provide you an automatic failover. It does have a lot of things better than the old master and slave thing, but it does not provide you the automatic failover. If you want automatic failover, I will suggest even MySQL and even Oracle is gonna encourage you to use InnoDB cluster for that. So in case you do not want that, and if you can take care of some limitation of InnoDB replica set, then you can use InnoDB replica set, which is a highly appreciable and highly used product for in your production environment. Okay, then we don't have protection from partial data loss due to unexpected halt or unavailability, and we don't have any protection against inconsistencies after an unexpected exit or unavailability. Inconsistency means if any data has been left inconsistent, then this MySQL InnoDB Replica Set does not guarantee the protection. Okay, so today we are going to use two server, and the two server are these two server. This is our router, this is our primary MySQL 1, and this is our MySQL 2 is going to be our secondary. Okay, and then what here is MySQL router actually take this as an application. What I'm using this one is that, let's say we have this 1110 is our application, and on the application side we are going to install our MySQL router. So the application will connect to the MySQL router, and this router will route you to this primary and secondary. Okay, and we will talk about all these things in further way while we are doing this implementation. And okay, so then what are the prereqs? The prereqs, let me tell you guys. You need to have your MySQL Shell installed on your primary and secondary. It does not need you do not need to install MySQL Shell on your MySQL router or application side, but you can do it if you want something for MySQL Shell as well on the application side. So I have already installed MySQL on this server, and also installed MySQL on this server, and we don't have any MySQL server on the application side. And okay, but we have to install MySQL router and MySQL Shell. So in order to do that, I have done it shell here as well, and MySQL is also running here, and MySQL is also running here. But I haven't done the MySQL router installation and MySQL Shell installation. I would do the shell and MySQL router installation here. And if you want to do the MySQL installation, you can route back to my previous session where I have shown how you can install MySQL server as well in 3 different type of installation we have. Okay, so let's if you want to install MySQL router, we are going to do that by yum. You need to have a connection to the internet, and yes, we do have. Okay, one more thing here is we have to have the connectivity between all these servers. So you need to be able to ping all these for each other. Let's say I can ping MySQL 1 2. Okay, here if you see here, I can ping MySQL 1 as well, and I can ping MySQL router we have. Okay, yes, MySQL router. So this means that I can do so they are all able to call each other. So that's need to be done, and yes, you need to have disable the port for firewall, and for that and we need to disable the firewall as well. And I'm using CentOS, and you can you can use any Red Hat as well and disable that firewall in CentOS or Red Hat. So let me show you my CentOS this firewall status as well. And if you see here, I think it's running now. systemctl status firewall. I think it's firewall D. Yeah, it's dead because I'm mostly, when I do the installation, I turn them off. If it's running here, let's say, yeah, it's running here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it, so we don't run into any issue, and I'm going to disable it as well. So these are all the misspelled. If you are in a production, I'm doing here the test, but the steps are the similar for a production as well. What you have to do is you have to add your MySQL ports in your firewall. If they are not like, to avoid any external interaction your server, you can only enable your MySQL port and allow them to talk to each other. That a system administration guy can do well than me being a DBA, but that's the basic things what you can do. For my easiness, what I have done is I have disabled the firewall, so I don't face any connectivity or any connection establishment between all these servers. Okay, so in order to do that, I have these are the password for my SQL servers. And in order to install your what do you say, MySQL Router and MySQL Shell, just type here what do you say here, install MySQL Shell, and you will get the first one. And once you go there, okay, click on this one, and you can download it from, like, I want here for where is it, oh yeah, here. And just download your repository for, you can download the repository as well. Just a minute, I think, yeah, MySQL go from here. And another second step is that you just go here to this link, to MySQL Router installation, okay, and come down here, this one, installing RPM packages using the yum package manager. And you see here it's saying that install MySQL Router, and go here to the yum repository and get down here. You can see here that we have the repos, okay. And because I'm using CentOS 7, you can get this one, just click and download, or download with anything, but I have copied all these here. And what I'm going to do here is just get this one for MySQL, okay, and paste it here. And that's here we have this MySQL, okay. And then we are going to do is install this RPM with us, and let's guess. And now this has been installed. And what I'm going to do is first install MySQL Shell, and -y I'm doing it that it won't ask me for any interaction, it will give every answer as yes. So once this is done, MySQL Shell is installed, then we will install our, because you see all the clients, connectors, and MySQL community and things all going to install. Once this is installed, I think it's around 30 to 40 MB, I guess, or maybe less than that. For the video purpose, I will skip this part, and I will fast forward this part. You will have to install this MySQL Shell on all of your server, like on your replica and your on your primary and your secondary replica set. But I'm doing this only on one server, so just give you the demo and how you can install this. You can skip this part. Okay, so speed up your video, and then we will have to install MySQL Router. And once you install this repository, it can install you everything you want to install. So now we have installed MySQL Shell. If you see here, yeah, this, and now we are going to install MySQL Router, and I have given it as -y, so it will install it. It won't ask me for the dependency, I should install this dependency or not. So this is a bit bigger file, and once this is done, sorry for my internet speeds, it's not that good, but once this is done, then we will continue with our then only our prereqs will be completed. You can skip this part if you want till your installation of MySQL Router. Okay, and I have also done, if you see here in my, I have like given, so this so my name can be resolved, so I don't want to use my IPs. If you can also use your IPs, but I'm doing this like this. So let's start from first server, and let's get connected using MySQL Shell. Let me show you. From here I can see in MySQL, and then SH you will connect it to MySQL Shell as well. So I'm just going to directly connect with my user localhost, and you see here localhost, and this is my port. I have connected to 33060, and so this is how you can connect your MySQL. Okay, secondly, let me connect on this other as well. Okay, just a minute. But before that, okay, let me connect to the other host as well. This is the same command we're going to use on this one as well. Okay, so we have connected to the both server, and now let's create let's configure our replica set instance first on our MySQL 1 on our primary side, and that is gonna do it with like this. Okay, in this scenario, just like this. Now what we need to do is we need to create our first this InnoDB replication admin account. So we will choose the to create new admin account for InnoDB Replica Set with minimal required. Okay, so now we will create a and this is going to ask a password. Sorry for the name first, and I just copy paste it so I don't get into error. I have done this, so don't worry, and I will copy the same password. This one. Okay, done and done. Okay, so it's saying that do you want to save the changes, and yes, I want to configure changes as well, and it's asking to if I want to restart, and yes, this for the first time. Let's restart, and it's saying that your server has been installed. So now we will create the replica set account on the second server as well, and let's connect to we have already connected to that one, and let's connect do the configuration on our second server, this one. Okay, let's create this account as well here as well, and let's give it the same name just like the previous one. Okay, now let's copy the password as the same, the old one. So okay, just same like the other one, yes and yes. Okay, now we are here. If you come here and let's check our what do you say, the status of our MySQL. But before that, we will have to sorry guys, we will have to create our MySQL replica set, and for that I'm going to directly connect with this user, or either you can do it like this, MySQL Shell, and you see here MySQL sh, and then this how /c is used for connect, and then we are going to use the MySQL replica set user, and it is going to ask us for the password, and this was our password. Yes, yeah, this, and this is our password, and this is saying that you want to save this password. So I'm going to tell him that yes, you can save the password, and so the next time I'm going to connect, it won't ask me for the password. Okay, so now we have connected to the password to our first one, so the primary set, and now let's create our database our replica set. Now we are going to create a replica set. Actually we have this DBA dot, we have many sorry, the backspace is not working. Okay, so now let's create our replica set. What happened? Okay, so now our replica set has been created. Yeah, you see, if I do it again, it's saying that it's already been created. What I have done is this, I just store everything in this rs. So now if I say rs.status, okay, let me make this bigger. Now you will see. So if you see here rs.status, from this command, it's like has totally messed like this. Okay, yes, and yeah, here rs.status, you see here our MySQL 1, this one has now a primary, okay, and it's online. Okay, now on the same server, on the primary server, we are going to add our second user and second server, and we will tell him that add this to our this second server into our replica set, and that's how we are going to do that. We are going to do it with this guy, because rs is our object, and now it's .rs.add instance. This is our replica set, replica set user, and this is MySQL 2 and the same port. Okay. The problem we have got here is that because I've cloned this and the server UID is just the same as this one as well, so I will change the server UID and continue this. Okay, don't worry. Okay guys, we saw that we ran into this error, and the error was that your server ID in MySQL is should be like unique. So the problem was that what I've done is that I installed MySQL on this server, and then I clone it, and once you clone it, everything is just the same. So this UUID was not was the same, so that's why it's saying that the replica set is saying that I have already this MySQL server with the same ID, so I cannot accept another MySQL server with the same ID. So for that, what I did is whenever you do is go to your MySQL data directory, and you will see this file auto.cnf. okay, first I stopped it. You see here, this was my data directory of my replicas, the secondary server. I went there, and then what I did is, because your UID is stored in this one auto.config, what I did is I just stopped it and then I removed it. Don't do it like if it's a production, something like that, so it will cause you some problem. Because this was a clone, so in production what you do is you do the separate installation. Okay, you can do it in the production as well, because this is from the start, so it won't create any problem. But it's already, like in some case you already have master and slave, or source or replica, and but you won't get into such problem if you haven't cloned it. So if you have cloned it, you will run into this problem, and what you will do is stop the MySQL server and then remove this auto.configuration file in your data directory, and then start your MySQL server again, and it will come back with a new one. If you see here, 12th December, by the time I am creating, and this was the old one, which was from October 2026, because I have few of my machines and I clone them when I want to do something. Okay, then if you come here, it's now our this replication is the server ID is now has been changed. This one and this one is now changed. If you 104 and 103 both have different. So let's do it again, and let's add the instance. Okay, so you see, I want to select a recovery method, is because last time it was not available. So now we were going to, it's actually saying that it's saying that I want to add the instance. So default what is going to do is it's using the clone utility, which is what is going to do is it will clone the primary and send it to the secondary. Like if you have some data in this one, then it will clone everything and put it in your secondary database. I will just put an enter and it will do everything. See, because it's empty database and it has nothing, that it went so fast. But if you have a certain GBs of data, it will obviously take time. So now our service, our replica set has been created, and if you see this, want to see the status, okay, I don't know why. Okay, the problem with the putty is that the backspace doesn't work, because actually the problem is with the emulation. I have to change the emulation, but actually I don't have that much time. So let's do it using the same copy thing, rs.status. okay, if you see here, now we have two servers. Okay, last time we had only one. Here only the primary one, only this MySQL 1 3306, and now we have is MySQL 1 as a primary and MySQL 2 on this 3306 port as a secondary, and slave has already, all the relay level has been applied, and it's just waiting for the master to send the event. So that's it guys, our replica set is now has been installed. So the last thing we have to do is set up our we need to set up our router. Okay, so let's do set up our router now, and let me make it small. Okay, so here is our router. So this was our this is our router, and let me make the screen big so you guys can see, and just increase the font to 14. Yep. Okay, so now we have going to use is bootstrap our MySQL router, and what I'm telling him that MySQL router get bootstrapped, and this is the user we are going to use. This is the default user. Okay, so now just enter, and it will says that I need the InnoDB ReplicaSet password, and the password we had was this guy, not so secure, and just give him the password and press enter, and now our router has been installed, and then like if you want to connect your MySQL router, you can do it. So what it does that it give you some certain ports. This one is for read write, and this one is for read only purpose. So for this is for the classical protocol, and this is for your MySQL X protocol. Okay, so if you want to see the status of your MySQL router, then this is how you can do it. So if it's saying it's dead now, so what we have to do is we have to start it, or either you can do it by the restart. I think restart should, no, it's not, so we have to start it. Okay, start MySQL. Now it says been started, and if you see the status, the router is here, it's running now. So now we can connect using MySQL router, and you can connect to MySQL routing using any instance you want to connect. Okay, so let's say I have this MySQL workbench, and I want to connect to this. So let's go home and create a new connection. I know this has become a big one, but what can I say? It is the way it is. Okay, so this is the IP I have for my SQL routers, and let's say this one. Okay, let's give it this name, and we have this this should be the password. Okay, and I hope so this will allow me, because I haven't created any user. This was, what was the name? For the replica set, where is the router? We gave him here the name for replica set. Let me test. Okay, so we had the port as well, because we need to provide the port, and we want the read write port, which is 6466, and I'm creating a connection using this port. Let's test the connection. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's going to work, because it has asked for the password. And okay, so it's not going to let me do the password. And okay, so because we need to create a user which is going to allow us. It's denied for route user. No, it won't allow. This user is not allowed to for the remote connection. What we have to do is create another admin user, and then give it proper rights, and then let him to connect to our MySQL user. Okay, so I will do that as well. so let me create a user, then I will come back. Okay guys, what I did is I created a new user, and let's create this connection. What was the IP of the server? Yeah, I forgot it, sorry. It's 110, and let's connect to our server and give it the same name. And what was the port where we can write? This one. This is the read write port, and let's connect with our MySQL router using router. Okay, and we are going to use I created an admin user, and I have granted it everything I could have granted him, and this is the password. Let me copy this and let's tell him to test connection. Okay, let's save the password, and okay, it says the connection has been tested, and let's say okay. Okay, so it's already exists. Let's give it another name. Let's say our router. Okay, and it's saved now. Now if you see here, I'm connected to our MySQL database, which if I say select edit host name, query here, you see here I'm going to connect it to our MySQL 1. Okay, and what was our IP for MySQL 1? The IP for our MySQL 1, you can check it from here. Select edit host name. Here, if you see here, it's our MySQL 1, and the IP for it is 103, and we have connected to a server with you saw the connection. We were connected. If you see the property, you see 110, and the port is 6404. So now you can connect using this. Okay, the router we have connected, and let's connect make another connection, and let's see if this is going to connect to our second host or not. Now it's going on to the first one, and let's say if I want to create another only for the read, so let me copy this one. Okay, just a minute, sorry. What was the thing? Oh, let me copy that IP, and this is the port. Copy one by one this port. Router for read only. Okay, because the port was, and then we have admin, and let me copy the password. Yeah, this, copy this. Test connection, password connected. Okay, and only for read. Okay, and then copy this. Now if I go for the router for read only and execute, okay, sorry, copy this, you will see it's connected to the MySQL 2, because if you see here, when I configure our router, it gave us two ports. One was for read and write, and the second is for read only. So if you now you can design your application to do like tell your application to write only on this primary level and read from our replica or from secondary, so the reporting part can be shifted to our secondary server, and there will be a lot of huge difference in performance, and you get a very good performance if you shift all your reporting or all your select queries to a secondary, and the writing will be very fast on your primary server. Okay, so let's now let's test it if it is working or not. So let's create a database. Now we have connected to our this is our write server, and let's create a database and say school, and you refresh this here and the school will come. You see school is here, and now this is our now going to use is the school database. Okay, so now let me create some table here. Create a table. You see the table has been created, and now let's say go to the router. This is our secondary one. Okay, refresh this, the school is here, so this means our replica is working. And let's check the table here as well. We have a table student as well. Okay, so this was our router, the first one, and this is our read one. And if I show you here, this is our MySQL 2, and let me create another, and this one is MySQL 1, so which was our read write, our primary. Okay, now let me do some insertion on our primary. Okay, here. Okay, so all the three has been executed, and now let's select on our this guy, the read one. So you see here Aslam, Mughis, Ahmad and all are here. And that's it guys, our MySQL InnoDB Replica Set has working and is performed, and I have shown you how you can set up a router and your Replica Set as well. And if you are using this guy, the secure CRT, what you have to do is, because this MySQL Shell API has some problem with the emulation, the currently you have to change your emulation from VT100 to XTRM, so you will won't have any problem in this formatting and all that. So that's it guys for today. Thank you so much and for joining here today, and please like, share, subscribe and share it with others.